So today I'm going to be doing nachos. That's my nachos, the way I like to do them. So follow along. You might actually learn a nice easy meal. Well, should be an easy meal, and we'll find out. So again, we're going to be doing this go and pause type stuff, and hopefully show you how to do it all. Okay. I normally buy a couple of kilos of mince at a time. The reason behind that is I can then use the leftover mince to make bolognese the following night. So I'll use roughly about 1/3 of this pack. So that's roughly about 600 to 700 grams, give or take. So I break up the mince and I make sure I don't drop too much because otherwise the ground piranhas will end up eating it. That one there is Blaze, but there's another 4 or 5 that circle around every time I'm cooking, so I try not to drop too much. They don't need the extra weight. Similar to yesterday, turn the flame on, make sure it's running, or make sure it's lit, and then we simply put that on the top, and what we will do is we will make sure that this is reduced down. So the downside with a lot of the minces out there, and I hate to say it, but Aldi is a classic for it. The people that put the mince together, they inject a whole heap of water and extra oils and all the rest of it. So when you reduce this down, keep in mind that for nachos we need a dry mince, you'll actually lose a heck of a lot of oils. So I'm going to show you a bit later on just how much oil comes out of this. This is, as I said, roughly about 650 to 700 grams of mince. And I haven't actually added anything to it. This is into a dry pan. So watch this in a few minutes time. Well, my next set when I open it up again. So here you go. This is the water starting to come out now. The stuff that's left over once all the water comes out is all the oils and fats that they add in. So unfortunately in today's society it seems that most of the meat we eat has been tampered with. So just be aware of that just about everything we eat these days has some form of chemical additive to increase the profitability of the companies. So yeah, that's the last bottle I started to fill. As you can see, there's probably around about 250 ml of oil in, but well, probably not quite that much. This was maybe around about 150 ml, but I reckon we'll pretty well fill this up. So I'm just about to pour all the oil in and we shall see. So here goes with the first pour. Give me 2 seconds while I grab all the bits and pieces I need. And sometimes interesting things happen. Give me 2 seconds while I clean up. Okay, take 2. Let's see how we go with this one. Okay, so that's pour 1. I normally do about 2 pours, so I'll come back and I'll do the second pour in 2 seconds. Okay, so this is pour number 2. Whoops, almost did it again. Actually, I'm going to grab that because otherwise we're... What are you up to?
Do you want me to hold it?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Like, you do realise that you're at present in the middle of the shot, so... So the mince is now starting to be cooked. And you can see it's got a good colour to it. And so now we begin to add bits and pieces to it. And I'll explain what I'm adding as I do so. Nachos require 1 can of tomatoes. Yes, I shake every bit out. Mix the tomato all the way through, and that gives enough time for the juices from the tomato to start to burn off. Well, evaporate off. You don't really want to burn it. But as I said, this has to be a dry mix, so we're looking for trying to make sure all of this remains nice and dry. Yeah? So, 1 can of refried beans, and that is pretty well everything that's required to do the nachos. Yeah? There is all nachos really is. It's just a corn chip which you buy in a packet, a mince mix which you make yourself. Now, if you're a bit iffy as far as taste and all the rest of it concerned, you pretty well go just purely with that as being all you're eating. So, I know some of you may struggle with some of the food combination because you've got something that's a wet mix being added to corn chips, but I actually find it works pretty good. It's sort of like having a sauce on top of the corn chips. So there you go, that's the mix. Now, obviously, that's not what I'm going to be leaving it as. I want to actually make it into something which I enjoy the flavour of. So, I use, into the herb thing, I use a little bit of Spanish paprika. So, I find this actually works pretty good. And it just gives that a bit of a really basic shake over the top. There's probably all of around about a tablespoon that goes in, so slightly bigger than a dessert spoon. There should also be a little bit of garlic that goes in, so I just use a bit of garlic powder, and again just a gentle shake. Now normally I'd shake that into the lid and then shake it in there, and the reason for that is that way if I make a mistake I don't wind up with a whole heap of garlic in there. And finally, some onion powder. Well, I use onion flake, but so there we go. And then we just simply stir that in, and if it has all worked, which we'll find out in about 5 or 10 minutes when the flavours start to get absorbed and expand, etc., then what we should find is that's a really yummy mix. If not, then I just adjust it according to taste using whatever other herb spices I might need to put in. So as I said, we use corn chips. Now, I keep showing a whole heap of Aldi products. Honest, they don't sponsor me. I wish they would, but however, maybe one day they might stumble across this and think, oh wow, we don't even make them anymore. But yeah, you can use any products that you want, any corn chips, whether or not it's Doritos or whatever else, same as the mince, same as everything else that I've used. It's just that I've just showed you what I use. Okay, so corn chips into the bowl, put some cheese over the top of the corn chips, into the microwave for about 20 seconds, apart from, damn it. So, here's the microwave, and I know I hit 30, but I'll stop it in roughly 20 seconds, at roughly about 15 seconds, give or take. What I'm looking for is how that looks, and there we go. That is a meal for a kid. And there is one for an adult. So all I did was put the mince over the corn chips with melted cheese on the corn chips and some sour cream over the top of it. And that is how easy it is to do nachos.